Okay, so hi y'all, it's Queen. I am back today with my latest video. This video is going to be pretty much like a life update. I'm currently on a travel assignment away from home, so this story is kind of going to be to update all of my friends, my family members that I don't talk to on a daily basis, because my life tends to change about every probably like 2 to 3 months, and it's drastic changes, nothing that I actually planned for. At this point, I'm just going in a direction of where the money resides. So if you are new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and comment below. If you don't know who I am a 26-year-old travel nurse. Just to get a little bit more acquainted, you can go back to my previous videos just to get some insight on who I am, but we're gonna get straight into the video. Comment below what you all want to see like coming up, because I don't know, I'd be very like just nurse oriented because I don't like people in my personal life. But if you all want to see more of that and just see like me going shopping, brunch, hanging with my boo, you know, my besties, going on trips and stuff, like if y'all want to see more of that, just let me know, because honestly I'm here for it. I just don't know if you all are, so let me know. 5 o'clock in the morning, like literally, like I can't even believe that I'm up this late, but I told myself that I'm going to be more consistent with my vlog, so here I am. If you all are wondering why I'm talking like this, I feel like I'm talking a little bit weird. I just got Invisalign, so I don't currently have my aligners in, but my teeth is very sore. I have to wear 22 hours a day, so yeah, I'm very much not feeling that, but that's my life right now. So if I'm talking a little weird throughout the videos, please bear with me, please. So my life the last 3 months from February until now has been like a full circle moment. I went through a lot of denial, a lot of stalls, a lot of pausing to where I am now, on an amazing contract, paying amazing, great location, amazing co-workers at an amazing facility. But I went through a lot of up and downs when it came to me actually landing an assignment. In the process of that, I also quit a job, which I have never really done before. So we're gonna go into story time, into details of my actual travel assignment, the location, and things of that nature. But just to give you all a just timeline of events, in February I took a break. I took a month-long break because I had just finished a 13-week assignment where I was working 6 days a week for 13 weeks straight, and it was a very emotionally taxing, so that break was needed. My birthday was also in February, so besides celebrating, I wanted to take like a mental health break as well as do some self-care and just kind of like reset and recharge for my next assignment. Now, anyone that knows me knows that I don't know where I want to end up in life eventually when it comes to location. DC is becoming my place, and I love it so much to the fact that I think I am going to turn that into my long-term home. But I've always been a gypsy when it came to work and when it came to my life. So how my life has worked the last 2 years of travel nursing is that I will literally find an assignment, I will go to that location, get short-term stay, and then I will live there for either 6 to 13 weeks and just reap the benefits of not having to duplicate expenses. A lot of travel nurses don't do this. They have a home to go back to, and initially it benefited me because I didn't duplicate expenses. I was saving a lot of money, but now that I'm older and you know, I do plan to settle down sooner than later, probably like a year or 2 from now, I'm looking for more stability and just to place some roots in a city. So with that being said, when March came and I was done with my break, I was taking a break in Chicago, which is where I'm from. March came and I was very confused as to where I was going to go, because as my life was always directed by my job and I was always moving according to work, I now had no work and I was planning to move. What was I to do? So I sat back, I stepped back, I evaluated where my goals were going to be in the next couple years, and all of those answers pointed to DC. So without a job in line, without a contract set up, without a contract signed, I packed my bags from Chicago and I moved to DC. No job, no assignment, nothing. Of course, everyone knows that most of the time I live with my sister. She's usually my roommate. She's my twin. But she was on an assignment in LA, so it was all up to me to find the apartment, get everything set in stone, furniture, all things of that nature. So I'm like, okay, cool. Eventually, I want to end up in DC. I plan to do my clinicals for school in DC. I plan to grab a PRN job. I want to raise my kids in DC. And my boyfriend's in DC too. So, you know, I feel like all of the things kind of pointed to DC, and it's a dope place for us Black young professionals. It's a dope place for us. So I thought, like, hey, why not? I know this is where I want to be the next couple years, so let's go. So moved to DC into an apartment, and I was ecstatic because at that point I felt rooted, I felt aligned, and I felt like I was moving very intentional. I prayed about it. I was like, you know, whatever's for me is going to be for me. At this very moment in time, I'm going to focus on school. So I did just that. 3 days later, I got a call from an agency that I was signed up with stating that they needed a nurse ASAP at a facility in Maryland, which is like 20 minutes from my apartment, and they needed me to start. I'm just like, okay, perfect. At this point, it's like March 13th, and I'm just like, okay, perfect. Thank you, God. I'm so thankful. The rate was crazy, like so high that it was unbelievable that they were offering this in the DMV area. So I signed the contract, and I was so excited to start. They told me I was not able to start until April 12th, which was a whole like 3.5 weeks away. So I'm now devastated because I'm like, oh my God, another month out of work. Granted, financially I'm good, but anybody that knows me, I'm very like goal-oriented, work-oriented, and money-oriented. So being out of work for another 3.5 weeks was not aligning with what I had going on. So I stood back, I stepped back. I then prayed again and told God, you know, what's for me is going to be for me. I was doing kind of good in school, and I needed to like kind of reset my focus towards my assignments. So I just did that. I prayed about it and went from there. I got insight that the nurses in Boston, Massachusetts, were going on strike. And when that happens, travel nurses come in temporarily, normally like 2 to 6 weeks, and take over, and they work at a facility. So I'm like, okay, I have like 3.5 weeks to spare. Let me sign up for my Massachusetts license. And it only took a week to come. So after I got my license, I signed up for the strike. And let me tell you, power of the tongue, because I ended up getting the position in Boston, and that 2 weeks fell literally within the timeline of when I would start my DC job. So I was able to go to Boston from about like May the 20th until April the 12th and work, and then I came back April the 13th, and then I could start my DC position. So I was like, okay, God, like I see you showing out. Thankful, grateful, and just feeling so aligned within my purpose and my life. It was everything. The rate in Boston was like crazy. So I'm like, yes, sign me up. I'll work 14 days straight, and I'll come back to my job in DC. So sure enough, went to Boston. Amazing job, amazing opportunity. The facility was great. Doctors cool. My co-workers were all travel nurses, so I grabbed so much insight, and I learned so much from them. They were just beautiful people. So it was a great work environment, and I was actually very sad to leave when I did have to leave for my DC commitment. So this is when things takes a turn of events. So I get back to DC, and I start my job at the job in Maryland, and I'm working, I'm having a great time. I'm like, this is an amazing hospital. It's newly renovated. The nurse to patient ratio wasn't crazy at all. It was actually pretty easy. My co-workers were cool, couldn't complain about them. I knew a couple people from another DC job that I worked, so it was cool. Like, I couldn't complain at all. My agency was kind of flaky, but like I said, I'm there for one purpose, to work. They weren't messing with my money, so I was like, okay, cool, amazing rate in DC. I'm near my boyfriend. I'm in a city where I can get a PRN, start to gain some connections for clinicals for my midwifery program. So I'm feeling very good at this point. Happy. I even told my best friend, like, hey, like, I feel so good, like, just mentally, and I hadn't felt like that in a while. So just to have that mental clarity was everything that I needed. So I continued to work for about 3 more days, and boom, my agency called me and was like, hey, like, are you free? I'm like, yeah, I'm free. So get on the phone with them, and they're just talking. They're like, hey, we're dropping your rates at your job, at your Maryland position. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, you're dropping my rates? Like, what does that even mean? I signed a contract for one rate. How can you just drop my rates? So basically, it was a clause in my contract that I did not read, stating that at any moment they can drop my rates due to COVID ratios, the funding from FEMA, anything, they can drop my rates basically. I was getting close to $90 an hour and they dropped it by $25. About weekly pay, that dropped me about $1,000 a week less. It did not take effect immediately, which was beneficial, but it was set to take effect May the 2nd, and at this point it's like April the 22nd, and I'm like, yo, like I can't do this. This doesn't align with my financial needs. It's just not for me. And you know, the recruiters are telling me like, you're at the mercy of the hospital, you need to take this rate change at this moment. You can break your contract, we don't care. Just very not like sympathetic to my situation, not concerning the fact that I, you know, uproar my life, came to DC, got an apartment. They don't know the back end story and they didn't care essentially. So with them not caring, I'm like, okay, bet, like I'm not holding any loyalty to them. I verbatim told my recruiter like, hey, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I'm actively looking. When I find something better, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave. Just as well as you all kind of broke my contract, I'm going to break my contract on my end if I find something better. Just letting you all know. So they were like, okay, whatever. You won't be blackballed from the agency. You won't be blackballed from the hospital. None of that. So I went to the manager on the unit. I explained to her like, hey, like this doesn't align with my financial goals right now, and I may leave if I find something better. So the Boston strike was weirdly still going on. So I'm just like, okay, like, let me just sign back up for Boston. Got the job back in Boston where I was getting paid crazy money. And I just made the executive decision for my life that things that align for my future are very important for me at this very moment in my life. So I canceled my contract. I told them like, effective immediately, I am not returning, and this is just due to, you know, the inconsistency with my job here. My rates are changing. Who knows if you all are going to cancel me, and I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity that is going on right now that is fulfilling me and my purpose. So adios. I left. Unpopular opinion, don't cancel your contracts. That's not something you all should do as a travel nurse, but I did it. So yeah. So update, what am I doing? Where am I at? I have an apartment in DC. That's where I'm at currently living, and I'm on a strike assignment here in Massachusetts. And basically what happens then is they pay for your housing, they pay for your food, and then you get paid like an increased rate for being a travel nurse here at the facility. And weirdly to say, they have been on strike for almost 100 days and these nurses are not budging or anything. So I'm here for pretty much a long run. I'm thinking that the strike is going to continue probably until like July or August. And these assignments are very autonomous. As a nurse, you get the freedom of committing to as less as 2 weeks, or you can stay for the duration of the strike. So this is what I love about this current contract, and I plan to stay here just because I don't really want to tie myself up to anything that's 13 weeks. And let's be honest, this contract is probably one of the hottest contracts out right now, so I am just grateful to be a part. I always get the question like, oh, you're in Boston, how do you like it? And I'm just like, I like it, like surprisingly. I have this crazy list of places that I want to go travel nurse wise, and best believe I've hit like probably like 4 out of 8 of the places. But at this point, with all this money out here, I'm honestly just going wherever the money's at. And crazy but true, Boston is actually a good time. It's fun. I've met some amazing people and I've done some amazing things here so far. So honestly, is it a place I would recommend to visit? I don't know, but it's definitely doable. And it is Black people here, because people always like, is it even Black people in Boston? It's like, yes, there's plenty of Black people. It's not to say that, you know, quitting your job is acceptable or canceling the contract is the way to go. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. And a lot of people tend to talk about, you know, the upside of nursing and the good things associated with travel nursing, but they don't talk about things things on the back end, like how your contracts can be canceled or how a company can drop your rates, not even dependent on how much money you invested to get to this location. So I am more focused on now being more transparent with the downfalls as well as the, you know, benefits of travel nursing, because a lot of people and everybody talks about their successes. That's us, that's our society. But I hope to be more transparent, and with my transparency, therefore make somebody else transition a little bit more smoother and easier than I did. And then if you all haven't peeped already, I have one of my hoodies on from my nurse merch line. My website is nursequeen.com. So go ahead and head over to my Instagram or even in the description box below, and you can grab some merch. I relaunched my entire website. It was like May the 4th, and I received so much support. Like, it's crazy, from nurses, nursing students, friends that are not even nurses. Shout out to y'all. It has been a full circle moment, and I'm just so grateful to expand my brand when it comes to YouTube and also my merch. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the support. I am so grateful. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. Also comment below if you have any questions about my current situation, where I'm going next. I don't really know, probably, or even strike nursing. I may even have a video coming soon on that. So just let me know what you all want to see. And now that this is an update for my life, I plan to create more content about my personal life, nursing, fashion, all of that's good stuff. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.